Y'all got one job. Come in and watch the damn movie. Why I feel like when I get to the movie, I'm looking at your TikTok more than I see the damn movie because it's distracting. And y'all just talking through the whole movie. And what's the craziest part? Y'all ain't embarrassed no more. Popcorn all in my seat. I sit down, popcorn in my booty cheeks.
Whoa there, brother.
Cracking extra jokes trying to support the movie. It's just crazy. Man, look at this. A bunch of dumbass kids get mad and get kicked out, probably for being annoying and doing too much. And guess what they do when they get kicked out? Watch this.
They want to fight the cops, bro.
We late to the movie.
Well, no, we still got 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you said that's 10:30?
They sure to fight in the cops. Oh, they tase their ass.
Oh, I wish I could beat some of these kids down. They need it, bro. If I did anything like that, my daddy would have obliterated my butt, boy. Pause. He would have took, man, look, I'm telling you, these kids ain't getting whoopings. That's a whole other topic for another time. If y'all want me to make a video on that, I will, because we need to address that nonsense. But boy, these kids is crazy.
So if you was watching the movie, you had to cut it short and they had everybody come to the main lobby, but you couldn't leave. And I guess it was a safety precaution.
Bro. Two things. If my kid is the only one that got arrested, bro, you are on punishment forever, bro.
Oh my God,
like,
it's so
you
bad.
the only one that got caught, bro. You the only one that got caught.
Wow, whoop you too. Parents like you was the goddamn problem, boy. Everybody, no matter whether he got caught or he didn't get caught, boy, let me find out you was at the movie theater and you did something suspect while I'm whooping your ass. Back to the video.
I'm almost sure he had to be the one that did the stabbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he was the kid that stabbed somebody,
It
probably.
better be. I mean, bro.
I for sure remember going to the movies a bunch of times with the squad. You know what I'm saying? We actually going there to go see a movie, but we waiting in line. It's a chick that's fire. You know what I mean? I'm like, hold on, bro. I'll be right back. Let me go spin off real quick and see if I can see the movie with this girl that I just seen. You know what I mean? It has been so many times.
Pull your pants up. Turn
You
your
already
body
know what you mean. Don't do it to him, Stacks. It's a move. It's a classic move that we used to do. You know what I'm saying? You know you was a boy as you did this move, but you would walk past a chick, slightly pull your pants up a little bit, and you had a hat on, you just pull it to the back and walk past them and look back a little bit and see if you had your boy watch her and see if she looked at you. And she looked at you, you got her. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely pulled that move though. If she looked, she took. I pulled that move, and I remember, like, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna have to spin off of her. I'm gonna see y'all after the movie. You feel me?
Skyline's finest right here.
Hey man, chill.
Crazy, man. You making me sick, man. That was Gen Z as customers going to the movie. Now let's see what Gen Z is doing as employees of the movie theater.
This woman posted a video of the conditions at the AMC theater near her and it being absolutely disgusting. She goes on to say that she paid around $60 for her and her husband to go see a movie, and the conditions of the seat and the theaters was just a mess, and that their employees don't clean up, and then ultimately it was a disgusting seating experience. And I would like to also double down on this and say that AMC's popcorn has been awful. It's stale. It never comes to you hot. You're not having hot popcorn like we used to back in the day. For some reason, it's just been sitting there and it tastes nasty. I don't know what's going on over there, but also I've been going to the theater almost every single weekend, and every single time I go into a theater, there's popcorn and trash on the seats from the person that sat there before you. The ground is still messy, and it just seems like these Gen Z employees are not doing their job to clean up the theater. There's no diligence. Like, no one wants to sit in a nasty seat with somebody else's trash in it or have to remove the trash from the person before them. But what do you guys think?
Copyrighted music, so I'm singing something. I ain't finna get copyrighted. Hell no. Yeah, your generation got you actually doing your job. They're the reason why you got a job, so that's, yeah. But do y'all remember when the Minecraft movie came out and they did this nonsense? Watch this.
Y'all really went to town at a Minecraft movie this weekend. Yes, I saw it, and the teens standing up to cheer,
That part was fun. But I've also seen dozens of videos showcasing the aftermath, and it was pure chaos. Popcorn everywhere, drinks and water thrown in the air, riots breaking out, and the police having to be called. That popcorn cost $10. In this economy, you're throwing it on the floor? Won't anyone think of the children? And by children, I mean the teenage theater employees who are paid just above minimum wage that have to clean up this mess. But honestly, we adults haven't done a very good job at teaching this rising generation movie theater etiquette. We're just as guilty of bad behavior. Adults leave trash in movie theaters all the time, but how hard is it really to take that giant soda cup and put it in the trash can on your way out? Come on. When I saw Conclave, a woman had her ringer turned all the way up and answered her phone twice during the movie and proceeded to chat. Take your phone calls to the lobby. People text during the movie with their phone turned up to full brightness. There used to be ads before the movie asking people not to do this, but maybe they just got tired of showing them because no one ever paid attention. Also, what's up with people talking in their full outside voice during the movie? Other people paid to watch that movie, not hear your commentary. So stop it. Some theaters like the Alamo Drafthouse do have policies against talking and texting, but most don't. So now there's this huge swath of the movie-going population that has essentially stopped going to theaters because even though y'all are grown adults, you don't know how to behave and you keep ruining it for other people. So what do we expect from our kids? I do get that Minecraft was an event. So yeah, stand up, cheer, have fun, be passionate. That's part of the experience. But maybe keep the riots and the trashing the place to a minimum because the people who work at the movie theater don't get paid enough to deal with that kind of nonsense.
So I thought I was just taking my nephew to see a blocky movie. Then, out of nowhere, some Gen Z kid pulls a chicken out of his backpack like it's his starter Pokemon. Then another kid throws flour in the air and yells, "I'm in creative mode." Yeah, I'm just sitting here in row G trying to enjoy the plot. And now I'm dodging redstone traps made of Twizzlers and broken dreams. Kid hits me with one of these fake diamond Minecraft swords and screams that I dropped loot. Bro took my snack credits. 10 out of 10. Would not respawn.
Oh my god. Holy.
I hate to sound like a super auntie, but young people are ruining the movie theater experience. We went to go see I Know What You Did Last Summer, and we ended up leaving early because there were young people in there. One couple, the guy he didn't turn his phone off or put it on silent, so every time he would get a text message, you could hear the notification, and then he's responding to it. There's another couple in there literally smoking in the movie theater. And I'm like, you guys really have to learn some class. The movie theater is not the place to go and like have a full-blown conversation with someone and start smoking. I couldn't believe, I've never experienced something like that in my life with somebody like smoking in the theater. And it turned me off. Luckily, I don't have bad experiences often, and I love going to the movies. But that's the thing. I love going to the movies. It's one of my favorite hobbies, and I don't want that experience ruined by people who just have never learned home training in their lives. Like, I don't really know where we go from here because I am a little nervous about the experience moving forward. Like, do I have to plan out what days and times I go? Like, I usually go to the movies during the week early in the day because I'm trying to avoid just honestly as many people as I can. But we made the mistake of going on a Friday afternoon, which I still thought it would be a little quieter, but no, people were in there smoking and talking. I don't know. Do you guys have the same experience when you go to the movies? Where do you think we go from here? I don't want to say I'm not going to the movies anymore because I love doing it, but what am I supposed to do?
See what I'm saying? doing too goddamn much. Also, this is another angle of that clip that I kind of showed you guys in the first beginning of them teens ruining the movie theater. Let's look at that some more. Just lame. I think that shit cute, man. Need that man, taser, body slammer. Do something. Hold on. Then the parent gonna come up there. My daughter ain't do nothing. She was thirsty. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the clip. Let's see what the lady was thinking about it before I cut her off.
All right, my friends. So as we can see, they're at the movie theaters, and we know how much it is to go in the movie theaters, and you can spend a good easy $60 going to the movie. So these kids are at the movie theaters, and they jump over, and they are going through the snacks, jumping on their counters, on their register, just tearing it up. This is very disturbing for people who paid their money to get in the movie theaters. My friends, I want to know, is this acceptable? Is this ignorant? Are they too big to act like this? Should you be getting your money back if you paid for your seat? What if you was on a date? That's ruined. Just different things of that nature from children acting up in public. My friends, tell me what y'all think about that.
They just ruined the movie theaters. But let's see how, I guess he's a director or somebody who's just a avid moviegoer. He's saying we ruined the movies by not going to them anymore because we got Netflix.
People aren't going into movie theaters, especially post-COVID. Your generation, I blame you. Get back into the goddamn movie theaters. It'll bounce back. The entertainment industry always bounces back and will find a way. And people love stories. Part of the problem is the short attention span. I flip through YouTube shorts or Instagram reels or whatever, 5-second, 10-second, 15-second pops of like, there's an otter in my kitchen. Oh, and here's the best way to pop a zit. And here's a guy who fell over in his canoe. And here's someone who fell down the stairs. It's distraction, but it's not even entertainment. And more important than entertainment is storytelling and art. So whatever we can do to lead people to real storytelling and art, which is greater than entertainment, and entertainment is even greater than distraction, that's the algorithm we need to try and move people toward. That's something we can all take responsibility for.
Movie theaters are dead because teenagers don't get off their phone and they just talk the entire time. And because of that, home projectors are definitely the way of the future now. This is MagCubic's mini projector. The quality is amazing. It already comes with preloaded apps, but you can always download more, and you can screen share on your phone too. It also rotates 180 degrees, so you can watch movies on your ceiling. Seriously, the ultimate movie experience, way better than the movie theaters. If you want to get it, they're running a huge Black Friday sale. I'll leave the orange shopping cart below.
It's talking about Gen Z gave you the 4D experience, you ain't signed up for it. That's wild. Speaking of Gen Z, y'all be doing all this crazy stuff and got the nerve to be sensitive. Let's see what this next clip talking about.
Gen Z are calling theaters to cancel the Scary Movie 6 release. No. Absolutely no. Yeah, it's not going down. And to be completely transparent, I don't know if this is some kind of like generational rage baiting to try to see if we'll respond to this. But I don't think millennials believe that Gen Zers even give a flying about this movie being released or how it's going to make them feel. And the ones who do get a fucking life, bro. Get a life. Everything doesn't have to be pandered to your overall emotional state and how you feel about how somebody says something. Aww. No. Scary Movie has always been deliberately addressing things that are happening in plain sight and saying what everyone else is thinking in a certain manner. And it's comedy. Yeah, because reality is funny at times. And if you do it the right way with a good delivery, you'll get a masterpiece, which I'm expecting from Scary Movie 6. We've waited long enough. Millennials are here for this. I'm tapping in. That's all I'm going to say. But are you excited for Scary Movie 6 or do you feel like it should be canceled? Just let me know what y'all think.
Now, I don't know if this is true, but I ran across this online. But I just want to say something. If it is true, Gen Z, screw y'all. We did not grow up with your sensitive ass feelings. I miss having comedy that was controversial, that played with the differences between the races and the cultures. I miss being able to make fun of shit just because it's genuinely funny. Not trying to be offensive, not trying to make nobody feel bad. It's just fun. The Wayans brothers are comedic royalty. We ain't canceling this movie. We need this. Hell, can we please get In Living Color back? Huh? Can we get Mad TV back? Can we get back the funny shit that we used to watch? Sensitive ass motherfuckers always trying to fuck up shit for the good people. Shut up!
So it begins, Gen Z. So what pissed you off this time, man? Was it the pronouns? Was it, well, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what made you little fruitcakes mad and offended. You might need to take a long FMLA leave, you know what I'm saying? You might need to take a mental leave, you know what I'm saying? Because right now, we don't give a fuck about none of y'all, bro. Yo, Marlon, yo, Sean, I'm trying to see Scary Movie 30, bro, as long as it pisses them off, you feel me? Hey, man, Gen Z, grow some balls, man. Grow some balls, you know what I'm saying? Yo, they are fucking offended about anything, bro. Let me know in the comments, man. Where's my real people that like scary movies and don't get offended by dumb shit? Where you at, man? In the comments, let me know how you feel about this dumbass shit, bro. I can't believe this is dumb as fuck, man. I'm out.
Okay, Netflix fanatics. Gen Z audiences are protesting outside their local cinemas not to show Scary Movie 6. You'll notice that it is an AI image. If you need proof, what does that say? Now, this is not a grifter page. Usually I go after grifters, you know, the people who attach themselves to these political movements, but they have no, like, actual original thoughts about anything. They're more focused on spreading propaganda, either because they truly have hate in their heart and they want terrible things to happen to society by enforcing conservative and Republican and neoliberal movements, or because they just simply want the money and they have no empathy. They're sociopaths. In this case, I would say that there is some of that psychology in a page like Netflix fanatics. NF, as we all know, is short for this is more going back to the clickbait era. Remember clickbait? Remember the term clickbait? Maybe some of you are actually too young for that. But when I was younger, I remember like being bombarded by clickbait stuff. Like BuzzFeed was one of the OG clickbait powerhouses. And me and my friend created a website called Shart Daily. I don't know if the website's still there, but if it is, go ahead and check it out. We created a website called Shart Daily where we're just trying to like make headlines that were clickbait. You know, you create a headline that is like shocking or weird or is going to make someone want to read it. And you see that today. You see a lot of headlines are specifically written in a way so that you kind of have to click on it because they're going to say things like, oh, terrible snowstorms are coming. And I live in an area where we do get some snowstorms, some bad snowstorms once in a while. And so naturally I see an article that says, oh, terrible snowstorm, brace for impact. I better click on that. And then it turns out they're talking about states that are very far from my own. And partly I could think maybe it's just the metrics or something, but I noticed this is a very common thing. And it'll be shortly after my state gets hit by a snowstorm. And then I'm like, oh, so they're trying to get me to panic so that I click on the website and then they get their ad revenue. And that's what it's all about. It's just collecting ad revenue by tricking people into clicking on the website. It is a different type of sociopathy, but it is all greed-based. Now, maybe Netflix fanatics is actually like some kind of psyop where they're trying to get people to get, pissed off, for the culture war or whatever. But I do actually think that whatever it is they're doing, it's just greed-based. They're like, oh yeah, people, we want to get old people to complain about Gen Z. So let's just make up stuff about Gen Z right now. Let's get an AI image, not disclose that it's AI, right? The young or smarter people but who are like, you know, still dismissive of this idea that there are nefarious actors all around us, they'll probably just say, oh, of course it's AI. That's just how things are now. People make AI images to pad out their websites. Yes, because they are tricking people. And in this day and age, the culture war is something that we should all be very militant about. You know, we shouldn't be like dismissive of how people are fanning the culture war, trying to get old people pissed off at Gen Z, because Gen Z is so offended. You know, Gen Z, like when I was younger, it was just millennials. We were the ones who were all offended about everything. And then the old people can be complaining about how we are just too sensitive. But at least back then, they didn't have AI. They just had speculation and real examples of what we would call back then SJWs. And now it's called woke. But it's the same thing. It's just something for the older people to say, oh, you guys are too woke. You guys are social justice warriors. You don't like it. You're too offended. You don't like humor. You get your panties all up in a bun. When in reality, especially nowadays, I feel like, yes, when I was in my early 20s, you know, which was like 30 years ago, yes, there was this movement called social justice warriors, and that was a pejorative term used to describe the ultra progressive ultra libs. People who were virtue signaling oftentimes, people who would, you know, make cases for why we should just like blanketly oppose offensive humor, offensive language. There was nuance deep in those circles, but the outward the collective effects, the cultural effects, was mostly just like this concept that we should just like ban all jokes about SA, and we shouldn't have any kind of like nuanced take on it. Obviously, that wasn't the best movement overall. It did lead to a lot of like people kind of abandoning what is now called the left, but really was just ultra libs. But here's the thing: I look back and I'm like, they were mostly correct. The problem was more so the optics, right? Like it's yeah, we should actually be very hypersensitive around marginalized people. I'm personally not a politically correct person. I actually very much enjoy edgy humor. The more dark and disturbing the humor is, the better. So I'm not like someone who fully embraces, even to this day, that concept. But technically, there is like a very well-constructed logic around the idea that we should be sensitive to every group of people who isn't part of the dominant hegemony. And I'm fully on board with it. Maybe I'll talk more about it in depth. It doesn't matter. I'm just throwing out my stance before I complain more about this stuff. This idea that we on the left or we progressives are just so sensitive, we're going to be outside of a movie theater with signs protesting. That's not I don't think that's happening. And if anyone does do it, whatever. It's just a small handful of people. They don't represent anything. The problem is there are a lot of people on the left protesting, but they're protesting things that actually do matter. And so what do you get when you start making up stuff about how Gen Z is protesting Scary Movie 6? They're carrying signs complaining about body shaming. What you get is a lot of old people being like, see, these Gen Z people they just protest whatever instead of loving America and caring about the good society that we live in. That's what Gen Z... See, Gen Z should be counter-protest. They should be carrying signs saying how great America is and how humor... how we should make comedy legal again. So whether NF over here, whether they actually are a psyop or they're just sociopaths, to me, all I needed to do was see that post, and then I looked into their affiliates, and it is a large company that just You know, they work with all kinds of publications like The Escapist, right? So I do think it is just sociopathy. I think they just want money. They want to generate traffic, and they know being angry at the young people for having actual stances on things is what generates revenue. So they're gonna, and they know Netflix is probably, I don't know. This is just me just thinking. I think the amount of young people who use Netflix is going down over the years. You know, it once was more young people than old people maybe, but I think it's going down, right? I don't think Gen Z cares as much about Netflix as millennials, because millennials, we watch The Office. So I just watch The Office. I put it on in the background. Yeah. That's millennial psychosis. We are probably the last consumer generation. I mean, I know Gen Z is like heavy into consuming. So that's probably a dumb statement on that. But I think Gen Z like consumes at an incredibly cynical level, and they're like well aware of it, and they're just like, they're kind of like transcending consumption. I don't know. That's another video.
I'm talking about just trying to get the movie out of here. I ain't even see the movie. I don't really care for it. I don't care. But hey, man, if y'all know people who's doing these crap and destroying movie theaters and just being menaces to society, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Till next time, I'm gonna see y'all.